All right, what's going on, everybody? If you are watching, you are seeing my sleepy puppy in the background. You're seeing
Guest
Connor's on
star.
point. Yeah, guest star Grace. Not
I like
really
that.
up.
Guest
Not
star
real.
Grace. It
Yeah,
just
not.
rolls off the tongue well.
Yeah, good girl. Good girl. Guest star Grace.
All right. Well, now you ruined it.
Right there.
That's too
Um,
much.
I'm gonna take her off. She's camera shy, so I'm gonna move back to the wall.
hmm
And I'm gonna say hello. How are you, Connor? I hope you're doing well.
I'm actually doing pretty well right now.
That's good.
How are
That's
you
awesome.
doing?
I'm all right, man. I'm finishing up studying for a test I got tomorrow. And I'm here. I'm living. I'm living. I'm ready to talk about Group E. For those of you who don't know, we are doing our World Cup previews. We're not going to take time to explain it. Go watch up groups
Yeah.
A
Go
through D.
watch like
I mean,
the
we've
other
done this.
7 episodes we're gonna put out.
We've
You'll
done
get the
that.
idea by now.
I say we've done this 4 times. If you don't, not my problem. Um, but before we do that, of course, we're going scarf of the week. I see you've got kid of the week as well.
We could ignore kid of the week. It's like actually I did not mean for this to pan out in this case, but I am wearing the Spain
Oh,
jersey.
I thought it was intentional. That's why I called it out.
No, it was totally honestly, I got home, I changed, and I just threw on like the first shirt I found. Just happened to be the Spain one.
That's
Um,
fantastic. I
I've
love
got
that.
I've got Isco on the back for now. The thing is peeling off, but that's kind of poetic because he's kind of peeled off of the Spain team.
Nice.
My scarf is an homage to. I hope I'm not like messing this up, but I think I'm thinking of two Costa Rica guys who are involved in that team. There's actually three. I could have gone with a different guy that are like MLS related. Two of them aren't anymore, but the one that's still there is on a team that's an enemy of the podcast right now. So I can't really like bring that scarf out.
Correct.
So I have brought out the Chicago Fire
See,
for
you spun this the wrong way.
for Francisco Calvo.
You could have done it for Francisco Calvo. What you should have done is spun it when Bastian Schweinsteiger signed for Chicago
Oh,
and
for the
was
World
asked,
Cup.
"The World Cup is the World Cup coming to Chicago?" That's how you should have spun it. But I like
That's for the fans listening. That's how I meant to spin it. He took the words
nice.
out of my mouth. That's exactly where I was about to go.
That's why we make a great team, Cone. That's why we make a great.
Exactly.
For me, I've got the scarf to match your kit.
Nice.
Real
For a
Federación.
second, my brain is a little tired. I thought that said Federer. I thought you had a Roger Federer scarf. I was like, that's sick.
There it is. Good
Oh, we got
good little
matching badges.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, so this was one of my mystery kits from away days. Everybody go check them out if you haven't. We're not sponsored, but they're just fantastic. They are responsible for at least half of the. So the other half is me. But um, yeah, so we're here. We are going through Group E in the World Cup. This is probably the second toughest group on paper. To, I'm sorry, not on paper. The second toughest group on ranking average. Behind Group B, of course, with US, Iran, Wales, and England. We in Group E are talking about Spain. We're talking about Germany. We're talking about Costa Rica. And we are talking about Japan. I say that with a little pizzazz. Maybe a spoiler alert. I don't know.
I think you're foreshadowing.
Ooh, great word.
Yeah.
Um, I don't want to wait too long. I want to dive right into this because we've done this so long. Shall we start with the team that we're both repping today?
Absolutely.
I love it. All right. So the highest ranked team in the group is Spain. They enter the tournament in the 7th spot in the world. And they're looking to get their second ever win. Of course, 2010 world champions in 2010. Actual world champions, by the way, not like NBA world champions or NFL world champions. The actual world champions. Sorry, we haven't talked about that enough. One day we will. We have.
Sure.
I genuinely cannot believe they qualified through UEFA Group B after knocking off Kosovo, Georgia, an entire state. They beat the entire state of Georgia, Greece, and Sweden. Very impressive. Very, very.
Hey, listen, Sweden's nothing to turn your nose up at. They're
No
always
Zlatan,
solid.
no party.
Oh, come on, they're good without Zlatan still.
Yeah, Isaac hurt though. That's they have qualified for their 16th final appearance. Former Barcelona manager Luis Enrique leads the Spanish team that has a really nice mix of young talent um, all over the pitch, really, with some good veteran leadership. This isn't an easy task. This isn't a walk to the park. As we mentioned, rankings wise, this is probably the second hardest group, average. Um, talk about some tournament results. They topped their group in the Nations League. They made it to the semifinals of Euro 2020 and lost in the round of 16 in 2018 to Russia on penalties. And I believe they lost to England on penalties as well in 2020. So if they can stay out of penalties, they'll be okay. Have they gone into penalties in their last five? That transition.
Nice. They have
And
not, but I'll give you a bit more context on their Nations League. Similar to all the other European teams, their most recent fixtures have been Nations League games. I don't know I know Nations League was like kind of somewhat recent, but it's kind of surprising that none of these teams have played any friendlies.
I was thinking the same thing when I was doing my research. Like you've got the teams that aren't in Europe are playing games like against UAE or Canada or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and then you've got the Europeans who are like, we're good. But maybe that's why they're not favorites to win this year.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I don't remember the Nations League schedule. Maybe they had to play those games during the last couple of windows. I'm not totally sure. But
Yeah.
either way, Spain's form coming in saw a 2-2 draw against 35th ranked Czech Republic, a 1-0 win against 15th ranked Switzerland, a 2-0 win against the Czech Republic, a 2-1 loss against Switzerland, and a 1-0 win against 9th ranked Portugal. So, gotta say, coming in pretty good form.
Yeah, and against teams that are not, you know, teams to,
Yeah, I mean,
wipe away. It's
two of them are in the World Cup. One's borderline in the World Cup.
right, and they handled them well. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, Alvaro Morata, Pablo Sarabia, Jordi Alba, Carlos Soler, Gavi, and Inigo Martinez all getting on the scoreboard there for them. One of those players is a key player for me. Actually, two. Yeah, no, just one. And I'll go with him. I'll go with the former Chelsea man himself. And that's a lot of people. Alvaro Morata, the striker. He really does seem to be Spain's number one right now. And playing for Atletico Madrid, he's seen action all across Europe. Been in Italy, he's been in England, now he's in Spain. He's seen it all. He has made 57 appearances, scoring 27 goals for Spain. Right now for Atletico Madrid, 5 goals in 13 appearances. And in total of about 450 games in his career, he's got 175 goals. Good target to play in. He loves to win the ball in the air, play with his back to goal, hold up, and let people run off him. Um, he'll be a great piece in the buildup, and that'll be very helpful with the players that he has around them who like to run through the lines. So definitely somebody to watch, Alvaro Morata, this year.
He's going to be interesting to keep an eye on because I feel like there's two different Alvaro Moratas. There's the one that played for Chelsea where he kind of just disappeared and I think he lost the confidence and he just wasn't playing well. And then there's the one that just turns up and looks like, an out and out number 9, like one of the better strikers in the world. So, and to be honest, I mean, I don't know how much depth they have at striker, but it didn't seem like a ton. So I feel like they're really going to need him to, show up at the World Cup. They need him to put away these goals because I think the talent around him is really good and will get him chances. He needs to have that confidence and just like finish things off because, like you said earlier, this is not an easy group. They need to take their opportunities.
Correct.
All right, I'll jump into my next top player, a young one from UEFA Lona. I've got Pedri.
Europa Lona.
Oh
UEFA
yeah, that's
Lona.
what I meant to say, and I for some
You
reason
need
I
you
just
need
said
a
they
nap.
have
That's what
like
you need.
they have a bunch of names. They could be UEFA Lona, Baroka Lona, Europa Lona.
Well, no, UEFA would mean.
Well, that's because they have UEFA in their back pocket.
Oh, okay, fair. Okay, I get it. I
So
like Europa alone. I think
a
it flows.
Europa loan is fitting. It is fitting. Um, Pedri's had a pretty strong year so far for Barca, 13 appearances. He's got a 7.35 rating, so that's pretty strong. Definitely he's had a good year for club level. Surprisingly, hasn't been too heavily involved with the Spanish team. I want to say he had injuries at some point, so that may have been part of the reason, but he only had 2 appearances in the Nations League and he had 3 at World Cup qualifying with 1 assist. So, but again, he's a midfielder, so he's not racking up the goals and assists. That's not his game. He's not like Morata where he's a striker. I think he's going to be a super important player. I think he's locked down most likely a starting spot in this team. Where if Spain is known for one thing and one thing only, I would say it's like their midfielders. They just have a history of making amazing midfielders, and Pedri is like first in line for the next generation of midfielders with like him and Gavi. So I think this is a great opportunity. I mean, he's already doing it on the club level. This is a great opportunity for him to like cement that on an international level, and I think he's going to be very important for this team.
Yeah, I agree. I think the young man playing for Brocolona, he has a never ending motor, right? I don't know if you remember that stat after the 2020 Euros, but he played like it had to be close to like I thought it was either 59 or like 64 games in like a 10-month span.
That's crazy.
So he's 19 years old now. He's already got 143 games at the pro level, including international.
It
He
reminds
plays
me
all
of
over the
Donnarumma. I feel like Donnarumma by the
yeah.
time he was like 20 had like I feel like he was getting close to 200 appearances already.
Yeah. But I mean that was just being a goalkeeper. This dude is like running 12 miles a game
Yeah.
and playing all those. Um he plays all over the pitch. You can put him in various places and he'll get the job done. Really good vision, good passing and dribbling ability. A lot of the play is going to go through him and he's going to play well above his age. So another good one to look at. My last
100%.
one is the last remaining member that I could find on the 2010 squad. You know who it is?
Hmm. So I'm thinking it's either Busquets or Jordi Alba. I'm gonna go Busquets though.
Correct. Jordi Alba was not on that 2010 team, funny enough. Um, Busquets is considered one of the best CDMs in the world, even though Tyler Adams is absolutely clear. Um, and he has been for a while, but that's simply because Tyler Adams has just broken onto the scene. Um, he's got 139 games for the Spanish national team and just under 700 for Europa Lona.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
700.
Um, he defines the word experience. That's the way that I have. That's the note I have here. Very, very good. Once they win possession, he's a fantastic distributor of the football. He doesn't lose it. He's very good at reading the game. He cuts the passing lanes, cuts the shooting lanes. He gets into tackles. He's not afraid to win the ball back, and he is a fantastic leader. Um, he is going to be very, very vital for their success in 2022.
Yeah, 100%. I kind of wonder what role he's gonna play, considering he is now like I mean he's definitely older now, and I think there's good competition at that spot with Rodri. I kind of wonder if they like I don't know exactly how they'll utilize him. Maybe he'd be someone they sub off kind of early in the second half, depending on obviously how the game's going, or maybe they'll use him in like an Ilsinho type role to like bring in late in games and be that technical piece that kind of changes
Why?
things.
Why you got to pick him?
Because
That's
that's
not cool,
just
man.
it's like
Why you got
the
to do that?
it's like the
Filippo
older
Inzaghi for AC
immobile
Milan.
players that they bring on.
Filippo Inzaghi for AC Milan, super sub of dreams. That's all you had to say. You didn't have to bring back
You
those
remember
memories.
Andrea
I'm
Pirlo for
already deal.
NYC.
I'm already dealing with DC United semifinals in 2013 today. I didn't need that. I didn't need it.
Well, I'm glad I gave it to you anyway.
You're the worst.
Yeah, Busquets, going to be a huge leader for this team. Crazy World Cup experience. Yeah, I had. I'll go through this last one quickly. One other guy I had on my list, Unai Simon.
I like
There's a
that.
lot of
I love a goalkeeper.
Yeah, there's a lot of competition for the goalkeeper spot for Spain. There's a ton of guys. Richard Sanchez, Kepa even getting in some form now. David De
David
Gea.
De Gea, psych.
Still,
Not in
I
the
mean, still,
55-man
obviously.
roster.
um, yeah, so it seems like even through that all that competition, he seems to be the favorite right now, and he's kind of locked down that starting spot. So I think he's going to play a pretty crucial role. I don't think it's a situation where like a Matty Ryan on Australia where he's going to have to like, really shoulder a lot of the load. With Spain, they have a good team going forward ahead of him, so I think he's not going to be called upon as much. But I still think, eventually Spain are going to run into tough teams, and he's going to have to step up and make a couple of those big saves, like a lot of these amazing goalkeepers in tournaments do, like Ochoa or Keylor Navas. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on him to see, maybe more so in the later stages if they get to that point, how much of an impact he has.
Yeah, it seems like they're starting to go younger. They're starting to phase out some of the older players. David De Gea being one of them, and Unai Simon has knocked him out, which is very, very interesting. But the other name, as we go into our starting 11 here, Sergio Ramos. He's been in and out of the team, really more out than in. And a lot, basically everywhere I looked, all the Spanish outlets are predicting him to miss this World Cup, which is the end of his national team career, I have to assume. But that's massive. I mean, him and PK were the two, and now
Yeah.
they're both on their way out. So for me, my starting 11 in a 4-3-3, the Spanish way. Unai Simon in goal, Azpilicueta at the right back spot, Torres and Laporte in the middle with Jordi Alba on the left. In the midfield three, I've got Busquets, Pedri, and Koke. And then up top, I've got Asensio, I've got Morata, and I've got Ferran Torres.
Mine's pretty close. I've got the same formation as well. Simone in goal. I've got Jordi Alba on the left. I've got Laporte as one center back. I've got either Eric Garcia or Pau Torres at the other center back. I really think you can go either way with them. I've got Danny Carvajal at right back. I think
Okay.
Asp can easily switch in there though. Midfield, I had the same midfield. I had Pedri, Koke, and Busquets, but I also put that I think Koke could be swapped out for Gavi and Busquets could get swapped out for Rodri. But
Correct.
I think those three will start though. I'm in agreement there. And then front three, the only one I had different is I had Pablo Sarabia on the left wing, and then I had Morata up top and Ferran Torres on the right.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean that front three is going to be mix and match game by game because
Yeah.
each player brings a little bit different to what they want to do.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Yep. So that is Spain. That's our Spain recap. Let us know what you think. Make sure you are sharing your thoughts. We love interacting with you guys, especially the 25,000 of you that have watched our uh, Group B prediction TikTok.
25,000. That's crazy.
25,000. It's crazy. And we've got comments all over the place. The Iranians are sticking up for us. The Euro snobs are trying their
Really?
best. Yeah.
Let's
We're,
go. We're
because
teaming up against the Euro snobs.
I put Iran second, and everybody's like, "What do you mean Iran second?" Everybody's like, "Bro, they're actually really good," and they're like, "Nah, Wales and England clear," and they're like, "You don't know what you're talking about. It's just them going at it," and I'm just sitting there like, "Yes." um, but I've run out of space on my computer and my hard drive, so I can't clip Group C or D or even E now. I'm so far behind on videos because I've run out of space. So hopefully that's supposed to come in tomorrow. Hopefully we can get that done. Um, but anyways, sidebars aside, why don't we move on to the second to last CONCACAF team?
Sure.
We've spoken about United States. We've spoken about Mexico. It's time for Costa Rica. They are the lowest ranked team in the group at 31, and they qualified by beating New Zealand in that OFC versus CONCACAF playoff round, which the U.S. were nearly in, by the way. They're in their sixth tournament finals ever and looking for their first ever semifinal berth. Never gotten past the quarters. Luis Fernando Suarez, the Colombian, leads them in the coach's role, and they're going to look to play underdog. This is a tough group for them. They definitely are not the favorites. I will say that. Lots of experience in this group. Lots of players in their early 30s, mid 30s, even some late 30s. Not very many young teenagers. This is probably their last run at it for a while, I'd say, before teams like Canada, Mexico, United States, and then you've got Jamaica, who's looking to be their next step up. Couple of different CONCACAF teams that could knock them out. I'd say this is probably their last run at it. But how are they doing? How's their form?
So form coming in similar to a lot of the other non-European teams. A couple of Nations League qualifying games and then a couple of friendlies as well, and as well as the Intercontinental Playoff. So they have had a 2-0 loss against 60th ranked Panama, a 2-0 win against. I have question marks here because I legitimately could not find the ranking of this team, but a 2-0 win against Martinique. Will just I feel like it's kind of safe to assume that they're above 100 in rank, but I could not find it for the life of me. So
I'll do some research while you keep going.
okay. Followed by a 1-0 Intercontinental Playoff win against New Zealand, who are 105th ranked, a 2-2 draw against 28th ranked South Korea, and this was a really random game, but a 2-1 win against Uzbekistan,
I
who's
love that.
77th ranked. I wonder how that happens. Like, does Costa Rica just get on the phone with Uzbekistan and they're like, "Hey, you want to play a soccer game?"
You have to imagine it's something like that, right?
How do you even get like Uzbekistan's number? Like, do you have to go through another country to get their number? Like that's I just wonder how that happens. I'm very curious. I'd love to be a fly on the wall of when they're planning that stuff.
Literally, that'd be something cool. Um, yeah. So right now, can't find him.
I don't
Cannot
know.
find Martinique. Are you on? Did you usually go to FIFA.com?
Yeah, I went on the official like FIFA site and I searched for them. I couldn't find them, but maybe somebody listening can let us know like if what's the deal with how they're ranked, if there's a reason like they're not considered in the rankings. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Let me take a quick little look here because now I want to know. They are 11th in the region. That I have. Why are Martinique not ranked by FIFA? The island is considered part of France. So Martinique and other French overseas departments, such as French Guiana and Guadeloupe, are not members of FIFA and not eligible to participate in World Cup qualifying or other events held by FIFA, the world governing body.
That's
So there you
so
go.
that's so weird though, because like Puerto Rico is on FIFA's rankings, but that's a US territory. The British Virgin Islands are on here. I don't know exactly how the rules work. I'm not
Me
gonna
either.
question
But
it too much.
hey, listen, I learned something new today. I'm very happy that I learned that. That's awesome.
I guess that
Every,
makes sense. Martinique has the French flag.
yeah, everybody should try and learn something new every day. That is the DP Pod
Well, if you're listening
motto.
to the DP pod, I guarantee you just learned something new today.
You're dang right. That's what we're here for. We should do that. We should do fun fact of the day.
I like that. That's a good idea.
Season 4, baby.
And
We got ideas.
we should try to incorporate it into the episode. Fun fact about something we talk about.
Yeah. Nice. Awesome. Well, Joel Campbell, Francisco Calvo, Bennett, Kendall Waston, my boy,
Absolutely.
and Zamora all getting on the goal scoring sheet. But if we're talking key players, I'm talking about a goalkeeper.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor Navas. All right, it's time to go on a rant. Taylor Navas, the single most disrespected player in at least football history, maybe sports history, maybe ever, outside of sports ever. This dude was a top 5 goalkeeper for like 6 years. You cannot convince me otherwise. And simply because he wasn't European, people were signing other goalkeepers to be in front of him. He was absolutely disrespected as a goalkeeper simply because he came from Costa Rica. And I am flabbergasted is the word I'm going to use. This is probably his last World Cup. He's age 35. I can't imagine he's going to get any farther. He's going to have to dig in and find that old form to give Costa Rica any chance at surviving in this group. Very good shot stopper. Great at penalties. We saw him do that in 2014, I believe, against Greece. Is that right? That's where he kind of came out on the scene. Um,
Yeah.
he could do a little bit better claiming some crosses, but listen, his job is to keep the ball out of the net. If he can do that, these guys have a chance.
Yeah.
Period.
I'm a little worried for him coming in because I'm looking it up right now. Let me double check. I want to make sure I have this right. I don't believe he's played a single game for PSG this season.
He hasn't.
That kind of worries me coming in for him. I mean, I 100% agree with you in that he is highly disrespected over his career. I think he is without question the greatest CONCACAF goalkeeper of all time, and I think he has that ability, somewhat, at least majority of that ability still in him. But I worry about the fact that he has no match fitness coming in. So let's see if that plays a factor in how his performances are. But let me not harp too much on him. Let me move on to my next top player. If my computer screen wants to cooperate as it shuts off on me.
I passed the virus on to you.
Yes. I could tell you off the top of my head, I know the next player on my list was Joel Campbell.
Mine too.
Yeah, a name that probably many of you have heard of and recognize. Believe was at Arsenal at some point. I think even like Sporting. Currently plays for Club Leon in Mexico right now
Bum.
with a 6.83 rating, 1 goal and 3 assists in 18 appearances in Mexico this season. Internationally, he's got 2 goals and 1 assist in 11 appearances. And in friendlies, he played against South Korea, no goals or assists in that game. The numbers really don't jump off the page for me, but I know that this guy has the talent to be a strong attacking player for this team, considering the fact, he was at Arsenal at one of the top teams in the Premier League. Like, they obviously saw something that I'm sure many other teams saw as well. Can he find that level? I don't know. It seems like his career is kind of, ever since he was at Arsenal, has gone downward. But I still think that he's going to be a major player for them in this tournament.
Yeah, he was all over the place, wasn't he? He was loaned out to Laurent. He was loaned out to Betis, Olympiacos, Villarreal, Sporting CP, Betis again. Um, that's pretty cool. I didn't realize he was going to all. I mean, I know he was on loan a bunch, but I didn't realize with all those teams. Um, this dude should have made a move to MLS like 6 years ago. By the way, he
Yeah,
comes to He comes to MLS in like
he probably revitalizes his career.
2017. Yeah, he finds form and he's not going on loans all the
You know what I
time.
think though? I think if you were to take him and like roll back those years and let's say it is 2017, but it's like current day MLS, I think he makes the move to MLS. I think we're at a level now where he would feel more confident coming here and revitalizing his career.
Yeah, but he doesn't need to anymore. He's 30. I mean,
Well, yeah, now he doesn't
it's
need
not
to.
revitalizing anything. Sorry, we need to jump back to Keylor Navas for a second. So when I told you he was disrespected, this is the exact quote that I got from a player of mine or a former teammate. Now we coach together at Alfred. He goes, he is not the top 5 goalkeeper in the world. He never was. He couldn't save a toddler in a puddle, and he needed elite defenses, so he never had to make a save again.
I think that sums up your point pretty well.
Correct. I just sent him a little note to make to let me know what he said again. So he's now a part of the episode. I'll make sure to send it to him so he knows all about it. But yeah, Joel Campbell, if he moves to MLS 6 years ago, he's going back to Europe or is worth. I mean, like I said, I think the most money he was sold for in his moves was about $2 million. We at least get him for 4, or sell him for 4 at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you. Anybody
Um,
else on your list?
I do. I have one more.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is remembered really for two things. First, he's an Everton legend. Second, his time in MLS. Do we know who he is? I actually I have scarves of both of those teams, by the way. So that's a fun fact for you.
I said I'm having one name pop up in my head. I don't know if he played at Everton though.
Who is it?
Brian Oviedo.
It is Brian Oviedo. How could you not remember his 86-minute winner in 2013 versus Prime Man United? How could you not?
I didn't watch the sport in 2013.
How could you not? I'll send you that clip too. So basically, for his time at RSL and his 86-minute winner versus Prime Man U in 2013, I mean, what else is there to talk about? Dude's a goat. He's a very good defender. He reads the game pretty well, but he also contributes a ton going forward as an attacking wingback. He's got great service. He's got a really nice left boot. Puts the ball exactly where you want it. You can trust him to carry the ball into the half, combine, create, get forward. I would expect a lot of the attack to go through his side.
You think he keeps Matarrita out of the team?
Yeah. Matarrita couldn't even get on the field for DC or for FCC.
Wasn't he hurt for most of the time?
Well, that's what I mean. What has he done to get in?
I just think he gets in on the fact that there's not a ton of depth in the team. I think he probably gets called in. Maybe he doesn't start though.
Oh no, I'm not saying Matarrita doesn't go. I'm just saying that I don't think he starts.
I don't think he's going to start either.
Okay, I'm glad we're on the same page.
It looked like Oviedo played pretty much every game.
Correct, because he's the GOAT.
Yeah.
Listen, he scores one goal against Prime Man United, never gets taken out again.
Should we talk about starting 11?
Why? You don't want to talk about the GOAT? You don't want to talk about Everton's glory days in 2013?
Because he's going to be in your starting 11. You're just going to talk about him again.
You're right. Starting 11, I got him in a 4-2-3-1. Keylor Navas in the goal. I got Fuller at right back, Francisco Calvo at center back. And as much as I wanted to put Kendall Waston in this team for no rules FIFA, that's nobody gets that joke. That's awesome. I got Duarte in there with, of course, Brian Oviedo on the left. I got Borges and Tejada in the midfield too. And then in the three pack in front of them, I got Torres, I got Venegas, and I got Bennett. And then in front of them, I got Joel Campbell.
Torres, Venegas. Say that again.
Torres, Venegas, and Bennett.
Okay. So I had everything the same up until we got to the attack. I've got Navas in goal, Oviedo at the left back, Calvo and Duarte as center backs, and Fuller on the right. I got Borges and I think it's Tejeda. I'm not sure exactly. Maybe Transfer Market had it wrong, but I think we're talking about the same guy. I got them in the midfield. Up top, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if this guy's actually still playing anymore.
Oh no, I know you're gonna tell me.
But I got Brian Ruiz in there.
Brian Ruiz is not playing anymore. I'm pretty sure he's retiring at the end of the year.
Okay, because he still popped up on Transfer Market, and
I
think
know he
was
did.
still
I
in their
saw
team.
him too. Brian Ruiz was a USA killer over the last
Yeah, I mean he's like
for a long time.
He's probably been their best attacker, like over the last many years.
Oh yeah, no, he was like I said when US used to play them in Gold Cup and the Hex, it was don't let this guy out of your sight.
Yeah, I think if he's still playing and gets called in, I think he could do a decent enough job in the right system at attacking mid. One where he doesn't have to move around much, but can use that technical ability to, help create the attack. I could easily see him switched out though for like Venegas. So I am not like hard set on him being in there. The other two wingers I've got Bennett and Campbell. I've got Bennett on the left, Campbell on the right. I don't think it really matters. You could swap them. Up top, I have Anthony Contreras. I saw his name floating around at striker a lot. Seemed to be scoring a couple goals. So I figured if you can get Campbell out on the wing, maybe that's a little bit better, and then get someone up top who has a little bit better of a goal scoring record.
Yeah, I think you'll get a lot of mix and match there. I think you'll see Campbell on the wings, you'll see him up top. There might be a sub that comes in that'll flip him over to another side. Um, I don't think he stays there forever. I don't think he stays up top forever. So, um, Borges, where did Borges play? No, I guess goes back. I'm trying to remember where I knew him from. Anyways, that is the Costa Rica preview. Shall we move on?
Yep.
All righty, we are going back to UEFA to talk about the team that couldn't even get out of the group last time out. Germany, Almena, four-time winners of this tournament. They enter Group E, ready to get back to work. Um, I know this is tough to believe, but I'm baffled at how they got out of Group J in UEFA qualifying. Do you know the teams that they played?
Go on, tell me.
Goodness me. Liechtenstein with a population of like Delaware. Iceland with a population of like Rhode Island. Armenia, whose best player is Lucas Zelarayan. Romania and North Macedonia. I'm how you survive teams like that, I don't know. So really good work for Germany on getting out. Hansi Flick, former Bayern manager, takes a very, very cohesive group, right? Germany are known for taking players from basically two different teams and throwing them out there and saying, let's go play football. They're going to the biggest stage in hopes to make a run at the Cup after disappointingly not getting out of the group in 2018. Losing to England in Euro 2020 round of 16, and they finished third behind Hungary and Italy in their last five Nations League groups. How about their form in that nation? Talk to me about some of those games.
Yeah, let me tell you about some of those Nations League games. They're coming in off a 1-1 draw with fifth ranked England, followed by another 1-1 draw against 36th ranked Hungary, a 5-2 win against 6th ranked Italy, a 1-0 loss against Hungary, and a 3-3 draw against England. So honestly, not coming in the best form. Certainly when compared to Spain.
Yeah, yeah. You got Kai Havertz tucking the ball away, Silky Ilky Gundogan, Muller, Kimmich, Hoffman, and Timo Werner, who will not be with this group after suffering his ankle injury over in Germany. Speaking of key players, because Werner is out, I've got Kai Havertz, the Chelsea man, as my key player number one. With Werner confirmed out, Havertz is going to be the main man. He's got 10 goals in 30 games for Germany, 3 goals in 12 for Chelsea this year. And in about 260 games, he's got 73 goals. Correct me if I'm wrong, he's usually playing as like a withdrawn number 10, a little bit deeper from the striker spot. But he has been playing in that number 9 role for Germany as of late. Good in the air. He's got good ability in the air. He can play back to goal. And if you give him the chance, he's going to tuck it away. He's got good finishing ability. My guess is he's going to get in there, draw a lot of attention, and some late runners like Gundogan or Muller are going to tuck the ball away more frequently than he is. But that'd be my prediction.
Yeah, I could definitely see him playing more of like an assisting role than like I'm just gonna go out there and like Lewandowski score goals and like that's it. That's my job.
Right.
Another guy I got on my list, former Chelsea man, Antonio Rudiger. I think he's going to be
Ooh.
a staple in that back line for them. I've watched him play at Chelsea. He improved, I think, a ton from when he first got there to when he left. He's a really good center back. He is ruthless. He's got like really good bravery. He will go out there. He will challenge you on those 50-50s. I think he's going to be massive for them. He's got a 6.87 rating in 12 appearances for Madrid this season. Not the best at the club level, but internationally, he's been very good. 5 clean sheets in 7 games in World Cup qualifying. Granted, caveat, you already read the list of the teams they had to play. Nations League, he had 4 games. No clean sheets, but a pretty solid 703 rating. So it looks like on the international stage, he's been pretty strong for them. Looks like he'll be, probably a locked in center back for them. I think he'll be pretty crucial.
Yeah, I agree. I think he is definitely one for me to watch. I think he brings a lot to the table, and we talked about that. I mean, you talked all about that, but um, I stayed a little bit more forward for my key player, number two, who is Thomas Mueller. I don't know how much you know about this. My friend Kylie from Kentucky, massive Bayern fan, massive Germany fan. On the back of her phone has was a little pop thing, a little stand
Yeah,
or whatever,
pop socket or something.
with Reimdauter. I think that's how you pronounce that.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas Mueller has his own position. It is named after him, and that's what it's called. I'm not going to try and repronounce it. I'm not German. It's basically the guy who finds space and then exploits the space. And he does it so well that they name the spot after him. Um, he does it all the time. He's done it for Bayern. He's done it for Germany. He's done it for years. Um, it allows him to create chances for both himself and his teammates. And because it's so unique, a lot of teams struggle to deal with it. Right? He's splitting those lines between the defense and the attack, or defense and the midfield. Excuse me, finding those pockets, turning, and once he turns, he knows exactly where his players are, and he's playing them into that space. It's a very, very unique and very, very cool system. He's got 40 goals and 44 goals and 40 assists in 118 matches. That's a goal contribution every 101 minutes for a dude playing as a 10. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Um, you let him roll and you let him go out and do that. He is going to be very successful. Because the other thing that does is it opens up space, right? If you're worried about him or switching on to him early, you're going to open up space for Kai Havertz to play, set from him. So if it's Havertz and Mueller, if Mueller goes this way, Havertz goes this way. That space creates there, and you can't work both of them unless you do a double six, and then you take away the ability to go forward. It's brilliant. It's soccer nerd in me loves this. Okay, yeah. So get ready to watch that. Maybe we'll do a live stream. We'll talk about it for 90 minutes. It'll be great.
You'll just be breaking that. I mean, you're gonna do that no matter what team we watch. Let me tell you about my last top player here. It is a man I like to refer to as a Swiss Army knife, Joshua Kimmich.
Oh, I thought you were going to use the name I call him.
What do you call him?
The young Philip Lahm.
Yeah, he's
Do
like
you know Philip Lahm? Is
a,
that before your time?
no. I remember Lahm. He's literally a Philip Lahm like regen.
I know.
Right back,
It's like
midfield. Yeah.
that's awesome. I love that regen.
Kimmich is, I think, one of the more underrated players in the world. I think he is super crucial for Bayern. I think he's going to be super crucial for Germany. I love the ability for him to kind of move around. It's similar to Tyler Adams as well. Play in the midfield, play in the back line. He's the type of player where I think you could stick him anywhere on the field and he will do a job.
Say the line.
He has posters of Tyler Adams on his wall when he was growing up. I don't know.
That's fine. I would have said Tyler Adams is clear. Very simple, very straight to the point.
Okay.
That's all you need to do.
Kimmich has had some unreal ratings this season or in recent international games. A 7.8 for Bayern this year in 13 appearances, which is wild. That's a very high rating. 7.6 in Nations League, also phenomenal. Especially considering the form that they were in Nations League. And a 7.72 in World Cup qualifying. He's been phenomenal for Germany. I think he's going to continue to be phenomenal. He's a player where I'm not really questioning like what type of player is showing up at the World Cup. I know he's going to show up and he's going to put in an absolute shift for Germany.
Correct. So yeah, for me, it's the fact that he can play both positions at a world class level. Right.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter where you put him; he's going to be world class, even though Tyler Adams is clear. Right. That's how you do that.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the best players in the world, by the way. Like if you ask me to name the top 50 players in the world, he is in there.
Oh, he's 100% top 50.
Yeah, easy. Maybe I don't know how high I'd go, but easy.
I'd have to look at a whole listing of players. I think he might be top 20.
That's what I'm thinking. Well, not top 20 because you've got basically the entire U.S. national team, then Alex Mawil, So he's got to be at least like number 30, I'd say.
Okay, he could be number 30.
I love it. Um, he's won basically everything you can win because he's been at Bayern. Um, he's got great vision. Whenever he wins that ball in the midfield, he will play big along diagonals. Think Virgil van Dijk to Mo Salah diagonal to Leroy Sané or whoever's going to be out on that wing, Serge Gnabry maybe. Um, and he's not afraid to put a few on frame. I mean, you saw he had a few goals in Nations League. Great defensive work rate. He's the total package. If I'm a coach, that is the type of guy I'm trying to say. Be like him.
Yeah, I want 11 Kimmiches on the field.
Yeah, literally.
I have a feeling there's a decent shot we have the exact same 11 here.
It might be, but the right back spot scares me because I think I might have a different right back than you.
Oh no.
So I have him in a 4-2-3-1. It could transition to a 4-3-3. Pick your favorite. Doesn't matter to me.
Mhm.
I got Neuer in the goal, of course. I got Carrere
Yeah,
pronunciation
I know who you're talking about.
at right back. He's a PSG center back, but they play him at right back. Sule and Rudiger with Raum on the left. Kimmich and Silky Ilky in the middle with Gnabry, Muller, Sane, and Havertz in front of him.
You were right. We were so close. It was just the right back.
I knew it was because I didn't want to put him in there. I just didn't know. I didn't know what else to do. Did you put Fredericks?
I didn't. I didn't put Fredericks. I'll go through my. I'll read mine out, even though we have the same thing.
Yeah,
I've got
Fredericks.
Neuer. I got Neuer in goal. Left back to right back. I've got David Raum, Rudiger, Sule. I went Klosterman at right back.
That's the other one I was thinking of. Yeah, it was one of those three.
Yeah, I think you could really go with any of them, but I went Klosterman, uh, Kimmich, and Gundogan in the midfield. Sane, Muller, Gnabry in the attack, and then Havertz up top. I also said so. I saw that Muller he had an injury symbol on him on transfer market. I think he was going to be back in time for the World Cup, but just in case he wasn't, I put Muller slash Musiala. So I think if Muller's out, Jamal Musiala will slide in there.
Sure. Yeah. No problems there at all. I mean, Musiala can also play out on the wings.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
he's a
he'll be
a bit
good
like
to come off the bench and just kind of like plug and play.
um. But yeah. So anything else on Germany?
Nope, nothing else.
Alrighty. The final team. Is this the first Asian side? No, I guess Australia last group.
We had Australia is technically its own continent,
Right. It's like Oceania, right?
but we
But
had
is this?
Iran. They're Asian.
That's right. There. Yeah.
Um,
Um.
I don't know if we had
And,
anybody
and
else though.
Qatar? Does Qatar count for that?
Yeah, Qatar's Asian.
Yeah. So, um, anyways, Japan, one of the few teams who have actually confirmed their 26-man lineup already.
Mm-hmm.
Um, at least at the time of recording on the 8th. Should be posted either on the 9th or maybe the 10th, depending on if we need the extra time. They are the 24th ranked team in the world, and they enter the group after being runners up in Group B of African qualifying, beating out Vietnam, China, Oman, and Australia. So again, just like the other European teams, very very difficult group, but usually a powerhouse in the AFC. Former Japanese midfielder Hajime Moriyasu will look to take his side and cause some waves. They're a little bit of an underdog, aren't they? They were the finalists in the 2019 Asian Cup, and they will have a lot more firepower than I think people understand. Personally, what about their last five?
Yeah, so last five for Japan. They have a 6-0 win against 145th ranked Hong Kong, a 0-0 draw against 79th ranked China, 3-0 win against 28th ranked South Korea, a 2-0 win against 16th ranked USA, and a 0-0 draw against 44th ranked Ecuador. So definitely strong form coming in. Not the best result against China, but I think the other games you can't really ask for too much more.
Yeah. Um, Again, they competed with a lot of really good teams. Really, they're kind of crazy that their worst result, at least from when I might have missed a few because I didn't. I didn't have any in there. Did you mention the Tunisia game?
No. Did I miss that one? I usually just look up their fixtures on Transfer Market.
Me too. I might have picked games that were
I'll double
uh
check that while you talk about it.
yeah, so oh, okay. I didn't do the East Asian Football Championships. I didn't look at those. Those were a bit too far down.
Oh,
Um
gotcha.
so they lost 3-0 to Tunisia. They beat the US 2-0. They beat Ghana 4-1, another World Cup team. They beat Paraguay 4-1, and they only lost to Brazil 1-0. And that's a very good Brazil side. They started Neymar, Rafinha, Vinicius Jr., Lucas Paqueta, Casemiro, Fred, Dani Alves, Militao, Marquinhos, and Allison in goal. That team only lost 1-0. This team is one of those really good, well-oiled machines. They are going to compete and know exactly how they're going to play, and they're going to take it at you. And it's going to start with their center defensive mid, Wataru Endo. Playing for Stuttgart right now. He has 43 caps for Japan. Very, very important defensive midfielder for this side. He's a captain for that side in Germany, and you can be sure that he's going to carry that into this squad as well. 43 appearances for Japan, like I said. He does have a couple goals to his name, scored a couple goals for Stuttgart as well. But he really his thing is he reads the game well. He gets into those shooting lanes. He gets a lot of blocks, a lot of pass interceptions. He's going to get stuck in. He's not afraid of a challenge. He's good in the air. He's going to really be the one to hold this team together.
You know what I didn't realize before doing research for this team? How many of these guys are playing in Europe and like on good
Right?
teams too?
Right?
It was crazy. I did not realize like I thought this team was going to mostly be like a couple guys here and there that are playing for in Europe and then just like a lot of guys from the Japanese league. But no, it's like I feel like majority of their roster is playing in Europe in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
So I feel like you can go with a number of guys here for top player. I went for Takahiro Tomiyasu playing for Arsenal. I think a name that's become much more known on a worldwide scale. 11 appearances for Arsenal this season, one clean sheet. Surprisingly, hasn't had the best rating so far this season, considering the fact that Arsenal have been super strong this year.
Right.
Um, World Cup qualifying, 6 clean sheets and 8 appearances with an assist. Can't ask for too much more, honestly. And then only played in one friendly, played in the game against the US, kept a clean sheet in that game as well. I think his versatility is also going to be helpful. He could play at center back, he could play at right back. I think he's going to be a really key piece in that back line for them. Whether they, like I said, whether they play him at center back or right back. But I think that versatility also helps make him even more of an important player because you can shift things around and keep him in the team.
Yeah, for sure. And one of the reasons I included him as well, they did name Yuta Nakayama to the team from Huddersfield. However, he is going to have to withdraw because of he blew out his Achilles. So I don't know who they're going to name, but my assumption is he slides into because they had Nakayama playing all across the back line. He's technically listed as a center back, but they played him at right back. They played him at left back, and I think Tomiyasu is going to slide into whatever spot that is there. So I also included him there. Um, the last person I have is a very experienced center back. He will be the captain of this side and the anchor of this side. It is Maya Yoshida. Um, Listen, he started and captained the game against Brazil. If you can keep that Brazil team off the board for essentially 90 minutes outside of one goal, you are doing something right. He has got everybody working on the same page. He's got um man, he's got them all going in the same direction. That's what a captain has to do. Very very intelligent. He's going to use that experience. I think he's 34 now, so he's going to use that experience to help lead those around him. Um, Safety first, get that ball out and keep it away. He's going to contain some very strong opponents, and that will be key for Japan's survival here.
I'll never forget his time at Southampton. That's
Right.
Yeah, he'll always be like a center back that I remember. Um,
Right.
Last guy on my list, a name that's known pretty much in like almost every household that relatively follows the sport. Takumi Minamino. Uh, I think still technically contracted to Liverpool. I believe on loan at Monaco this season. He has had a pretty okay season so far for Monaco. Goal, 3 assists, and 9 appearances. He absolutely tore it up in World Cup qualifying, though. 10 goals, 4 assists, and 15 appearances. Really,
Yeah.
I mean, that's almost a goal contribution a game in World Cup qualifying. So tore it up. No goals or assists in the games against Ecuador or Brazil. Didn't play in the other friendlies, I don't believe. But yeah, I think, he's when you think of like Japan attackers, he's one of the first names that comes to your mind. I think he's going to be super crucial in the attack for them. I like that. I think he can have that versatility in the attack as well in terms of like where he's playing on the field. I think he's going to be a super key piece. There's other great attackers as well that are going to be able to play off of him, but he's the one that comes to my mind first when I think of Japan attackers. So he's on my list.
Yeah, I don't actually have him necessarily in my starting 11, but he's definitely going to be a key part off the bench. It seems like he's been kind of left out um, over the last couple of um, fixtures, if you will. Um, yeah, he tore it up in World Cup qualifying, no doubt about it. But it seems like in the last couple of friendlies, he's been brought in but not used. And even in the East Asian Football Championships, he hasn't been involved much. Um, so just something to think about. I think he still plays a very important part, very important role. I just don't know if he starts necessarily. So my starting 11 in a 4-3-3, I've got Kawashima in goal, the 39-year-old. Is that right?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Ugh. Yeah, he listen, he's been around so long and he's got so much. I think there's a ton of Daniel Schmidt, the American born, if I remember correctly.
Yes, I think he's from like Illinois or something.
Yeah, he was born in Illinois, but Japanese citizenship and um, now playing in Belgium. Uh, he'll be there, but I think this is Kawashima's last run, so they'll give it to him. Tomiyasu at the right back, Yoshida and Taniguchi in the center back spots with Nagatomo on the left. I got Endo, Shibasaki, and Kamada in the midfield three. And then I've got um, Aito. I've got Maeda at the striker spot and Mitoma on the left.
Okay. I feel like you can go like so many different ways with this team. And I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
even if you look at their most recent friendlies, that's kind of what they've done is they've just mixed and matched like everything. Um yeah, so I've got Kawashima in goal as well. Back line, I've got Yuta Nagatomo at left back, Itakura and Yoshida as the two center backs. And then I got Tomiyasu at right back. Oh, by the way, I have him in a 4-2-3-1. Um,
The same
midfield,
thing.
midfield two, I've got Morita and Endo. Three in the attack, I've got Minamino, Kamada, and I've got either Kubo or I've got Ito. And then
Okay.
up top, I have Maeda as my starter, but I put Maeda slash Asano.
Yeah. Either or.
There's so
Um,
many things you can mix and match with this team. Honestly, I really can't get like a good read on what the starting 11 will be. But to be honest, I kind of feel good no matter like what you mix and match with. Like the team feels good no matter what.
right. Like I said, the biggest noise that was made um, was the fact that they left off two guys who were playing in Celtic, um, which shocked a lot of people. Um, Trying to find their names really quick. Oh, Rio Hatate and Kyogo Furuhashi. So, both of those two, one of them, Furuhashi, was like supposed to be a lock. Nobody knows what happened. Um, Hatate was always on the outside, apparently. So it's very, very interesting there. But they start off with Germany. They go to Costa Rica and then Spain. Here, you're looking at basically maybe you can nick a point from Germany, but if you beat Costa Rica and other games go in your favor, you may only need 1 point against Spain to move on. It'd be very, very interesting to see how that lines up. Unfortunately, I don't know if I'm catching the Japan versus Costa Rica game as it kicks off at 5 in the morning on a Sunday.
Oh, absolutely not.
So listen, I might go all in here. This is the first World Cup
If
I'm
you
watching.
ask me to live stream that game, I'm going to block you.
Only if the US plays at 5 in the morning.
Oh Lord.
All right, let's make some predictions here. I want you to go 4-1 first, as we always do.
No. I want you to go first because I've got a question for you afterwards. After you do yours.
So, speaking the way that I just did about how Japan can get out of this group, I'm here for the chaos. I'm here for the crazy. In 4, I got Costa Rica. In 3, I've got Spain. In 2, I've got Japan, and in 1, I've got Germany. I think Japan can beat Costa Rica and get a result against Spain because I don't think Spain will have the attacking ability to break them down like Germany will. So if Spain sits in, or if Japan sits in against Spain, gets a counterattack goal, I think they can get a result against Spain, and Japan will move on.
So what I have at the moment is Costa Rica at 4, Japan at 3, Spain at 2, and Germany at 1. And my question for you is make the case for Germany at 2. I mean, sorry, for Japan at 2 over
I just
Spain.
did. I just did.
I don't know if I have enough faith in Japan's back line to get it done.
Japan's back line held the at least one of the top 2 World Cup favorites to a 1-0 scoreline.
But that would
that's what I mean. Yeah, you're wrong. Stop it. Listen, the team knows what they're doing defensively. They may not be big world beater names, but they know what they're doing. They've got a clear and defined system. And I'm telling you, as a coach and as a player, clear and defined systems with good players is better than crazy switch tactics with great players. They know what they're doing. They've got tons of experience. They're going to be solid in the back. They're going to take that on and they're going to give it to their young, exciting attacking players, Minamino, Matoma, Maeda, Aito. You've got all these players that are going to be successful going forward. And this is a good Japan team. I think Japan gets out of it. And Spain, and we talked about Spain being missing some very key players that were the rock, Sergio Ramos, David De Gea. Those players are gone. You talked about which Morata is going to show up. Do we know? We don't, because you don't know what type of Morata is going to show up. You got winger depth that is good, but if you're serving to a striker that can't finish, then it means nothing. You've got Busquets, who's going to be great, and then but you don't know if you're going to put him or Rodri. And Rodri's great, don't get me wrong, but now you're looking at Pedri at 19 and maybe Gavi at 18, right? 2 very young players who are going to be tested on the world stage. You've got Koke who can fill in, Carlos Soler, but there are a lot of players in here that have ability, but this isn't Spain. This isn't Spain 2010. This isn't Fernando Torres, Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, and even the goalkeeper situation, right? Unai Simon, great, right? But it's not Victor Valdez. Center backs, Pau Torres and Eric Garcia, Diego Llorente, great. That's not TK Ramos or
Puyol.
Puyol, right? Left back is Jordi Alba, right back Carvajal, but Carvajal might not start. It might go to Azpilicueta, right? This isn't David Villa on the wings with Pedro on the other side. It's Ferran Torres at 22 and Marco Asensio, Paulo Sarabia. That's not the same. It's not Spain 2010. And listen, I'm not saying Spain is a bad side at all, but I'm saying if any team here is going to fall short, this team looks like it might be the one. That's all I'm saying.
So listen, I 100% agree with you. This is not Spain 2010. But the thing is, they don't need to be Spain 2010 to beat Japan. Like Japan, I think is underrated. This team looks really nice on paper. But at the same time, they do not need to be 2010 Spain to beat this team. This is still a beatable team. I think there are still weaknesses here. Spain at their best should definitely beat Japan. I get that it's definitely a question of like, can they be at their best, especially considering the fact that, you have someone like at striker who is a bit more inconsistent. I'm gonna
Connor, let me
stick.
ask you.
I'm gonna stick with Spain at 2. So
Okay, let me ask you something.
what?
We've now done 5 predictions for groups. Yeah.
Yeah,
How many of them have you put a expected to win out of the group?
probably 0.
Yeah. Do you really think that this
No,
entire
definitely
World
not.
Cup is
I'm going for the safe bet though that I'm not gonna get 100%, but I'm gonna get a high percentage.
boring, boring and wrong? You really think this entire World Cup is going to go without one
No,
crazy
absolutely
thing
not. I know for a fact it's not.
Stop.
I know I will not be walking away
And
with
if
100%
and if
accuracy.
any team is going to do it, it's going to be this one that's supposed to get in. I really want to do this research, but maybe after I'll do it. Of each year, how many top 10 teams don't make it out of the group? It's at least one.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I mean, I put France in, right? But I think Spain also has a shot at not doing it.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I fully understand that I will definitely not have a 100% accuracy, but majority of these teams are going to be going through. Not all of them, but majority of them are.
You're
This is
boring.
one where I'm on the border. I'm on the border. I can absolutely see Japan, playing upset and knocking off Spain, but I think Spain also starting the first game against Costa Rica could be beneficial for them because they could walk away with 3 points and be sitting in a good spot, have that confidence going into the next couple games.
Sure, but then they get spanked by Germany, and now it's like, okay, I need a result because.
Well, you can't just assume that they're gonna be
You're
spanked by
right. I'm
Germany.
not, but I'm playing hypotheticals, right? So you're looking at Spain versus Costa Rica, right? Let's say Spain beats Costa Rica, Germany beats Japan. Okay. Second game goes in. Spain loses to Germany. Costa Rica loses to Japan. Now Germany's on 3. Spain and Japan on 2 are on Germany's on 6. Spain and Japan are on 3. Costa Rica on 0. Okay, based on goal differential, they might need to get a result because a draw would knock them out. And based on and even then, if Japan sits in and gets a counter goal, then they need to break down Japan to have 2 goals. A very well oiled and structured Japan. I'm just saying, like this isn't out of the question. It's definitely not wild.
No, it's not as wild as when you put France in third. But
All right, you're
this
wrong.
is I agree with you. That's why I'm like on the fence on it. Like I'm very close to going for the same thing, but I just think that the star players for Spain can do enough in a big game to carry Spain, like if they are in that situation where it's 3-3
Which
winner
star
take on.
players are you talking about? Which star players are we highlighting here?
Let me pull up the lineup I have.
Bro, you're literally telling me star players are Alvaro Morata and
Pedri,
Ferran Torres.
Laporte.
Laporte from center back is gonna
Yeah, he
win a
he can
game.
absolutely put in an amazing shift and just completely lock down Japan.
Stop it.
You gonna tell me Laporte couldn't put in a shift and lock down Japan?
Does Laporte even play at City?
He's always hurt. But yes, I believe he does
so
play.
so magically he's gonna join the World Cup squad, be magically healthy, and be a world beater? Stop it!
What? He's just gonna
Yourself into a
magically
hole.
forget how to play when he
You're
comes back from
talking
injury?
yourself into a hole. You know you are. You
No.
know you are.
Well, now I'm definitely sticking with Spain at second.
Oh my
Let me
God. You are.
read it so you have for the clip. Costa Rica at 4, Japan at 3, Spain at 2, and Germany at 1.
I want you to say it right now. I want you to say, my name is Connor Wright and I don't know ball.
Yeah, we'll see what the TikTok comments say.
He's three appearances for City all season.
Who's hurt? What do you want him to do?
What does that mean anything?
What do you mean that doesn't mean
He
anything?
can't knock John Stones out of a spot. You think
What'd
he's
you
going to
say?
show up and turn into a world beater? Stop it.
What about John Stones?
He can't. He is back. If he's back healthy, he's not even knocking John Stones out of his spot.
I'm sure they're not rushing him back. He's got time to get phased back in.
Let's
He
take a
gets
look.
he has injury history. Why would you rush him back in when he has injury history?
Knee
Erling
surgery.
Haaland didn't start last game. You can tell me Julian Alvarez is benching Erling Haaland?
He was cleared October 3rd.
Yeah, he's got a
Took
couple
3
games
points.
recently. He played against Brighton. He played against Leicester.
Nope. I'm not sitting here and listening to you. This nonsense. This is nonsense. I'm not listening. We're done here. We're done.
Sure. Whatever you want to say.
We are done.
Okay.
Thank you everybody for joining and listening to Connor talk garbage. We hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you leave us a like, share, and do all that good stuff. Follow us wherever you get your podcasts so you know when we post our next episode. We've got 3 more team previews, group previews. Make sure you're following us on all forms of social media because we will post clips from these episodes, like Connor being dumb. And then, yeah. Connor, do you have anything else you want to say to make yourself sound super intelligent?
No, I'll be fine. I will not be the one getting slated on TikTok.
I can't wait to post this one. I can't wait to clear my computer. I'm going to clear out so much on my computer just so I can make clips of this episode.
Go ahead.
Nonsense.
Go for it. Go for
Nonsense.
it. Wait for all the Spanish fans to come find you.
Nonsense. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks everybody for listening. We hope you enjoyed, and we will see you next time on the next episode of the Designated Players Podcast. See ya.